Ladies and gentlemen, good honor to participate in the 2012 International WoodCulture Symposium. I'm a representative from an archaeological sector, so I want to share with you the certain canoes history. Before I made the trip here, I was awarded a certain we have certain awakening to this one. So we should have the mentality of appreciation, thanksgiving for these tangible and intangible materials. So because those are cultural relics, they really, instead of 1,000 years old. So we're talking about the different cultures. So they found the combs together with the other wood works. So archaeology can really give us certain food for thought. So for me, without further ado, I evacuated this Kuahu bridge. For me, people are talking about the wood age. So I'm related to archaeology, so I want to share with you the wood age and wood era from the archaeological perspective. For wood age, from the tools, manufacturing tools perspective, really, there was a period of age of wood before the Stone Age, because it's difficult to preserve the wood stuff. We cannot find the hard proof for this wood era, wood age. But from their technological perspective, it's a long period. Actually, even for the Stone Age, even for their Bronze Age, their maturity was reliant on the maturity of wood stuff. So 8,000 years, I use the word 8,000 years, it's something very abstract. But because of the existing of wood stuff, in particular we can have the time tunnel or time capsule with the help of Kuahu Bridge relics. The briefing of Kuahu Bridge relics and Kuahu Bridge culture. The relic was the white arrow. Can you see it? The white arrow. This at the proximity of Hangzhou. That is Xianghu, the Xiang Lake in Xiaoshan district of Hangzhou city. It was an ancient lake. Now people redeveloped this Xianghu Lake. Hopefully you can make a trip there, which is in Xiaoshan district of Hangzhou. So in the hideout of the Xianghu Lake, we found out these are cross bridge relics. It was supposed to be at the riverbed of Xianghu Lake. Actually, Xianghu was a lock, used to be a lock, because of the erosion of the tide from the sea. Hence the Xianghu Lake. There's different time stones for Xianghu Lake. We have the certain data as a proof. This is certain unearthed clay wares of Kuahu Bridge relics. And also we have some jade wares together with the ceramics and the potteries. This is the colored pottery. Believe that colored pottery in Yangshao and Banpu. However, the earliest one were still in the Kuahu Bridge in Zhejiang province. This is the earliest colored coated potteries. This is certain bone wares, and needles. You can see the needles. Those are the unearthed wares from Kuahu Bridge. These are the paddy rice. These are related to wood frames. You can see the frames. Then you can see the lanes. Kuahu people can use this one for the storage for vegetables. In Zhejiang province, according to the jurisdiction, the second phase of the culture. The first is the Shangshan culture, between 9,000 years old and 11,000 years old. That's a period one. The second period, that is the Kuahu Bridge, is 8,000 years, which is followed by Hemudu and the Majabang culture, which is 6,000 and 7,000 years old. So because this is in the lower reach of the Yangtze River, so we can have the good preservation of the wood ware. This is the altitude for archaeological perspective. It was flooded later on with 4 and 5 meters of the sediment. This is the certain maritime relics. This is the museum of Xianghu Lake. If you're interested, you can go on site to the Xianghu to have the hands-on experience there. Those are the relics. Professor Wang Xuefeng showed us the graphs. This is a canoe. The canoe is really something tangible there to testify to the civilization 8,000 years ago. And for the canoe, the length it was destroyed later on. So why you make the resumption after the destroy? Because it was destroyed by others. Because they took the earth for construction of other area, for other objectives, then they destroyed it. Now, what is remaining is still 5.6 meters. The width is a half a meter. So the length is 5 meters, the width is a half a meter. You can see certain wood wares, the wood materials. This is a kind of, we call it horsetail pine. It's made of pine wood. So through the material, I will have more studies to share with you. For the canoe processing and the restoration, we have the common practice, which will be elaborated with more pictures. This location of the canoe, this at the lake side, similar to this picture. This one is from Japan. I took a picture of one museum in Japan. Similar configuration of this canoe. This length, it's not thick. Actually, relatively thin, maybe 2 to 3 centimeters. For this big canoe, it's this thin. Why? Because in the river bed, it was buried for 7,000–8,000 years. So whether there's kind of erosion or deformation in the wake of the sediment of the topography, the experts from the Zhejiang University argue that there is certain maybe 2/3 withering of the length. So now it's 2 to 3, maybe later in the past it will be maybe 2 to 3 folds thick. This is the paddler. You can see the oar. This is the oar to this canoe. It was rough. Whether it was in the making or it was in the use, there was a question mark. There is a hole here. There's a hole here. So you can see they are very developed in the sophistication of their tools for the construction. So in the evacuation area, we really found the hole, which was very delicate back then. This is the weaving, the texture. Where you can see the weaving texture, It just looks like we're in a time capsule, time tunnel. It was still vividly shown there. They didn't believe it was 8,000 years old. In terms of the processing, it doesn't pale in comparison with the modern technology at all. There's kind of the keel here for the support. We have the canoe. Hopefully, the canoe can go to the sea, so probably the weave's texture can be used as something like a canvas, something like a sail. Who knows? Maybe it can be used as a sail later on. That's our graphs in the pictures and in the literatures. Therefore, the canoe, we have Z1, Z6, we have different slumps. Because the canoe was fixed on the slumps. So later on we believe that the canoe was in the making, not in the use, because of this fixture around. For the canoe, inside, there were certain charcoal black area. It was burned first, maybe. Certain areas will be burned so that it will be easy for chiseling. And because first burn to charcoal, which will be easy to dig out. Then you can see a kind of chisel. Okay, with the chisel is bound together with the canoe. Maybe that's the actual canoe in the making back then, 8,000 years ago. This is from Japan. In Japan, they have the similar relics. This is a Kuahu bridge. Now, where is it? It's in the museum. It is well preserved and dried. They found a hole here after drying. We made an amendment, remedy to this hole. We didn't figure out there was a hole here during the excavation. Later on, we found out there is really a slump. There maybe what's used for this one. There is maybe they use certain adhesives for binding, probably. This is two separated pictures. So this is the 8,000-year-old Kuahu bridge relics. We have certain this is the holder. The holder. That should be this is a missing part. This is the front view. This is the bottom. For bottom, you can see there's an angle here. This is the ladders. The ladders. You may need a ladder for buildings. We found those ladders. In Humudu, they found similar ladders, and similar ladders are found in Japan as well. This is the Humudu, the Tianlushan relics of Humudu civilization. You can see the big scale of construction buildings. This is something very interesting, something magnificent. This it's a bowl. It's a bowl of lacquered bowl. It's because it's a lacquerware, which makes it very significant. You can see the holder here was a little bit bent. Why? There wasn't any lacquer for this particular part. While for the two ends there was lacquer. And Marbury is very good for the making of our bowl. That was 8,000 years ago, which is very thought-provoking.
And also the wooden stuff. with this kind of hat. I don't know what is purpose of that. And we call it this kind of another wooden stuff. Some drawings or symbols on it, and this kind of mysterious symbols on that. It's still being researched. What will be the meaning of this? The wooden handle, and this is kind of a wooden float, maybe used for fishing. And also kind of wooden fork or etc. So different functions. And then the other types of the wooden stuff in different shapes. So for the interest of time, I will not go into the details. And how about the selection and the processing of the wood? I will have different types of the wood, and at that time they would use those kind of the splint wood, and they know what to choose, and they always choose those kind of exterior. Quite similar. So that's my presentation. Thank you. Any questions? We still have 3 minutes. This is a very good presentation with a very good case study. Any questions? So I have a question, Mr. Jiang, for this canoe. How you do the drawing for protection? So this is quite a technical issue. I was involved in the temporary drying or dehydration. We want to remove the water in it. And what kind of mechanism? I'm not quite sure. We use some kind of drugs in it. So dehydration is almost successful. But anyway, it was quite humid in the water. So it's still underway.